Kia ora. Kia ora, kia ora. Nau mai, hoki mai, kuhu mai ki tōku whārangi. Welcome to Willie'S Wananga on Wheels, where we wonder why words are worded the way they're worded. Woo! You know, normally I do this te reo class on my bus. You know, I take people from Tāmaki to Whenota, but due to COVID times, Willie's on holiday, and they say. But e ai ki te whakatauki, moe atu ngā ringa raupa, and Willie's got to keep these ringa as raupa as possible for the day that he meets the perfect woman. Yeah, so without my bus, I was thinking, why don't I do a virtual tour for all those people who want to see my tours, right? And I think I would make it so good that, you know, the things that won't exist will be the things like, you know, the babies crying on the bus, or, you know, the people, you know, in a mixture of perfume and BO, you know, because they've been on this bus for 12 hours, and not being able to eat hot food on the bus, you know, you can do all that. That's all good. So you know what? Let's open this pahi, pile on in, and let's get the show on the proverbial road. Yep. So let me just check on this background, because I sorted something out a little bit earlier beforehand. So let's go on down. Oh, my whole face is gone. That's okay. Oh no, I want to get my face back. Okay, Vano, well, let's just take a quick pause, and then we'll see. I'll see you fellas soon, eh? Okay, Fano, I'm back and everything is sorted. We've got our green screen and we're ready to rock and roll. So, on our touring tutorial, I like to break down the names of the places that we go to. I like to throw in a little bit of a curveball here, a little bit of a curveball there, just to keep you fellas on your toes. But the first name we're going to be breaking down is Willie'S Wananga on Wheels. It's my name! So, Willie's, you know, it's possessive form of my name. It's short for William. It's derived from the Old Norse Wilhelm, to be made up of a strong will and a helm, a common headpiece in battle. As my wife says, that's what makes me so headstrong! Just joking. There's no wife. Now, the Pākehā word, the next one, wheel, is actually onomatopoeika, like many other Māori words. It describes the sound of the thing itself, or rather, the sound the people made when they first invented it. Whee! And then the L just became fashionable over time. Oh, jeez. Now, the Māori word, it's a bit trickier, you see. So few letters in the alphabet, so many words mean the same thing. You need to be exceptionally, just let me through, man. You need to be exceptionally careful so as not to get it wrong. So, brother, so Wananga, as we all know, means learning. But what is the etymology, you ask? Thank you so much for asking. Well, wa means time, right? But I bet you didn't know that nanga, or nana, as it's said in Tūhoe, from which the word's derived from, actually means eyebrows. You remember that time when your eyebrows went up like this because you learned something new? That's right, whānau! That's what Wananga means! Or does it? Maybe you want to do a little more research yourself. Nah, just joking, whānau. Get your notepads and your pens ready. The major topic for today are place names and what is their true intention.
Willie, get off the internet.
Shut up, man. I'm doing my work. So stop playing Fortnite then, you prick. I might just I gotta wrap this up quite quickly, okay? If I know I've got the fillet mignon boiling on the stove, okay? So Okay, fine. So once we go out of Tamaki Makaurau, I like to... Oh, hang on, guys. Do any of you fellas know which township boasts the most northern border to Tamaki Makaurau? Most people think it's Wellsford, but they're idiots. It's actually Te Hana. Now, you may have noticed a small little Māori pa on your left as you're moving upwards to Northland from Auckland. Well, that tiny little village is Te Hana, and that is what is known officially as the end of Auckland, or more importantly, the beginning of Northland. But anyway, once we get out of Auckland, I'd like to begin our etymological tour by breaking down the names of the three regions before we get into the places themselves. So we've got the three regions, we've got Kaipara, we've got Whangarei, and we've got Far North. Okay, so let's start with Kaipara. So kai, anyone know what kai means? Food? No. In this instance, kai, when added as a prefix to verbs, changes the verb into a noun denoting a human agent. For example, kōrero, meaning talking, and then if you put kai at the beginning of kai, kōrero, it changes to kai kōrero, meaning a speaker. And so para, as we all know, means garbage. So these kaipara people were known as the garbage people. Kia ora, mate. And yeah, they were known as the garbage people. Now, that's not an insult to those fellas. We're not trying to hurt their feelings or anything, because in actuality, a famous English idiom associated with fighting, I'm about to take out the trash, actually comes from a famous whakatauki from this area. Ko au te kaipara he whakapai te rohe. Or does it? Now, whangarei. Whangarei. It's pretty cut and dry, whānau. Whā meaning four, ngā meaning plural, like putting the S at the end of English words like sheeps, and rei meaning day, like good day. So whangarei roughly translating to 4 days, which is how long our Māori gods took to create this world. 3 days ahead of your Pākehā. Now, finally we have Far North, which is te rerenga wairua was too difficult for Pākehā to name, so they had to change it to something with 2 syllables. Now, put some comments on the thing, whānau. I've got to go have a look at what's going on with my group. Oh, okay. Now here's a really interesting one, whānau. Okay, let's start. Ruakaka. Okay, so it's interesting because we have 2 pretty common Māori words, and I'm sure I could point at anybody on the Zoom and they can tell me what it means, right? So rua means 2, obviously, and kaka means shit. Okay, so ruakaka supposedly roughly translates to 2 shits, correct? But we know that's not right, yeah? So, fun fact, rua has another meaning, meaning hole. But we also know that this beautiful region isn't called shithole either. As rua has another meaning, so too does kaka. Macarons whānau, very important, is the difference between a cake and an armpit. Now, kaka in this instance is a reference to the parrot. So we're actually talking about the holes in which the kaka lives, right? But more importantly, that bird is actually a metaphor for a chief. So I guess the moral of the story is at the end of the day, you shouldn't take translations at first glance, right? Through this quick little chat, we managed to transform the name of a region that is often accidentally or flippantly translated to 2 shits, and we managed to give it its due mana, a little bit of guidance, a little bit of education, and a little bit of Willie, and we managed to change it to a name much more regal, like the land of chiefs.
Willie!
So, what?
Mum wants to
What?
make that. What are you doing?
I'm doing nothing. Go away. Go away, man. See, look, you disappeared. Go. Just, I'll give Mum her play back in like a minute. Shut up, man.
You shut up.
You shut up. You shut down. You ready? You ready? Jeez.
All I do is sit here, right?
Yeah, just sit here and pretend.
Exactly, I'm ready.
Just
hurry up.
just enjoy it. Just be here.
Enjoy it. Oh.
Shh. Okay. Kia ora whānau. I've just picked up a passenger. Just everybody say hello to Tanya. 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 Say hello.
What?
Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, look at that. Sorry, Fano, I forgot to mention that had we stayed on State Highway 1 just then, we would have bumped into the world famous Hundawasser toilets. They are what?
What a famous toilet.
Yeah, as famous as.
Okay.
As the most famous toilet in the whole entire of the New Zealand. Well, except for like for 3 years where there was the Cambridge Superloo upset in 2006. Do you remember that one? Where people had to pay to take a piss? Well, outrage waned, and so too did its notoriety. And then Kawakawa got to reclaim its fame for the world famous wharepaku of the Far North and beyond. But enough of that crap, whānau. No tour of Northland would ever be complete without a quick trip to Whytangi. And since we're only a short way away, I thought I'd give a bit of whakapapa about this very important place in New Zealand history. So, Whytangi. Just stay here, just stay here. You won't get your $10. Look, you can't even get off right now, okay? You gotta wait for like another hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, driver.
Thank you. Oh, been a while. Whytangi. So Whytangi is a reference, is commonly referred next to Harudu Falls. So Wai meaning water and Tangi meaning to call or cry. Therefore, Whytangi roughly translating to the call/cry of the waters of Harudu. But another theory is when Tāpirananga had a much more spiritual explanation. He said that when the first Māori arrived here, they could hear the wails of their ancestors from over across the sea in their homeland, Hawaii. Part of what Apirana says sits with me. You know, I do believe that the tangi, or the cries, the wails in this instance, are referring to our ancestors. But I think the meaning of these cries have changed over time. You know, at first they were the cries for the loss of their people, but now I think they're the cries for the loss of the mana of their people, as they were royally fucked over by their Pākehā. But that's just me, whānau. What?
Oh, nothing. It's just.
Alex, what? You just ruined my climax. I was going to do the. Shut up. Oh, okay, whānau. Okay. We're nearing my favourite part of the tour now. Just a little bit. Oh, I might a little bit closer. We're coming into the Mangamuka Gorge right now. Okay, just on your left. Okay, so on your left. Okay. Now, okay, so down there. Do you see that building with the corner on the corner of that road? Okay, so down there, at a place called Tūtekehua, is where my daddy's sperm met my mama's egg and old Willie came into existence. Now, sadly, only 4 generations of my whānau can call Tūtekehua and Mangamuka Behu. And I say that sadly because had we had even one more generation down there, we would have so much more than the fancy pants covering our normals. So, our whānau of Māori were a part of a generation of Māori who didn't lose their language, they gave it up willingly. Fair play to them as well. You know? That Maori business wasn't doing them any good back then. But I gotta tell you, boy, did their decisions back then affect Willie in the old pocket now. Whew. 3 years. 3 years of unemployed studying just to get my reo and tikanga back. Far out. But as I was saying, had we had even one more generation of knowledge under our belts, we would still know the true meaning of Tūtekehua. Obviously, I can translate it at face value where the ghost stands, but we know from our little conversation with the shithole that translating is a treacherous terrain. Anyway, not too long, whānau, until we're at the tippity top of the bottom of Aotearoa. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Sichum. Here we are, whānau, at the tail of the fish. From here you can see two oceans battle it out for water supremacy over the entire southern hemisphere of the world. You can see these two warring oceans battling, smashing, hitting, colliding into each other, and they're making a path. And that pathway is the basis for Willie's final story at the end of this tour of Northern. Okay, so you fellas might have remembered when I made that funny ass joke about Te Rerenga Wairua and how Pākehā had to change Te Rerenga Wairua to Far North because they couldn't pronounce it. Yeah, of course you can, it's funny, yes. Anyway, here we are, Te Rerenga Wairua. Now, no jokes or jiminies or pranks or anything, whānau. This is a very special place to Māori. This is where our spirits go when we die. Okay, so our spirits, we jump off that cliff where the famous lighthouse sits. They fall down, they hit the ocean waters, and then they walk a pathway, eerily similar to the pathway made by these warring oceans, and they walk all the way until they get to their homeland, Hawaii. And thus, as our story ends with the Māori's beginning in Hawaii, so too ends our journey to Northland. Thank you fellas so much for listening, and I gotta say, you fellas have been the highlights of my lockdown. So why don't you guys all sit back and relax and let all this information sink in, and let Willie take us all home safe and sound.